All right, good morning, everyone. It's just me here today breaking down the severe weather outlook across the Panhandle into tomorrow. We're not concerned about any active weather today. It is Earth Day. Happy Earth Day. I'm just going to wait a couple seconds to get a few more people to join. And we're just going to break down the timing of tomorrow's system, the impacts that we could potentially see across our viewing area into tomorrow. And if you have any questions, as always, feel free to comment those below, and I'll keep this up off to the side of me on my laptop so that I can see those questions. Hopefully everyone's morning's already going good. All right, we're just going to dive right into it. So this system is already formed, so we're really just waiting on it to track out east. As it does so, it will pose that severe threat west to east across the deep south. And yes, unfortunately, another round of potentially severe weather for our viewing area. We know that we just saw a system Sunday night overnight into Monday. There were trees down, there was that tornado warning that popped around midnight, and there were some pretty impressive straight line winds up to 80 miles per hour that caused some wind damage as well. So it is that time of year, and we have another system headed our way into Thursday. Again, this is not for today. This is what the current surface analysis is. If you're watching this later after I repost it, obviously this is going to be a little dated. So this is current as of just shortly before 10 a.m. So right now you can see that low pressure system has already formed. It's sitting just in northern Texas. I'm just going to make sure audio is working. Okay, great. The low pressure system has already formed North Texas. It will continue its track pushing into Oklahoma and Oklahoma City area. They've seen severe thunderstorm warnings. They've seen tornado warnings from this system. And the main threat from the system today, far away from Florida, it's going to actually be eastern Texas, western Louisiana, Arkansas, areas like that. So what's going on is we are not even in what's called the warm sector of this system. It's that area that's kind of shaded in vivid green. That's where you're feeding in moisture off of the Gulf of Mexico. That's where they're seeing the heavy rain and the severe threat today. That warm sector is what we call that area in between that red line and that blue line. So that would be typically where you're going to see those strong to severe storms form, hence why the Storm Prediction Center has that severe risk greatest for areas like Dallas today. Now, as we progress into tonight, we're still seeing beautiful conditions. We're going to continue to slowly feed moisture into our area. So we're going to get a little less tolerable in terms of the humidity, and it's been beautiful here. Yesterday was gorgeous. If you were out getting to the polls, or if you were just trying to get a breath of fresh air, it was gorgeous outside yesterday. Same story for today. So today, I would suggest enjoying the beautiful weather while we still have it. Now, as we continue to see humidity increase, tonight, clouds will build back in because of the cloud cover. What happens is those clouds will sometimes serve as an insulator for that heating. And it's going to be a very warm day today. Temps are going to be up into the low to mid 80s, fairly seasonal, however, for this time of year. And so because of that, the high humidity pumps in, that's ingredients that's going to feed into the system tomorrow. So we won't see active weather today, nor tonight, nor even overnight tonight, but we'll start to see kind of those preparations taking place. And one of those ingredients is an increased moisture content in the atmosphere. So that's one of those things. Wednesday night, that low continues to move through Oklahoma, and then eventually this is Thursday morning. That low pressure system moving toward the Kentucky and Tennessee area. And this is one collective system. That red line you're seeing, that warm front comes out in front. You have that low pressure system, and then you have the cold front behind that. Now, our areas in that warm sector. So starting Thursday morning, and it's looking increasingly likely that we'll actually see that severe threat more toward Thursday afternoon more especially toward Thursday evening. So we're not really focused in on what will be called a squall line, what will develop out ahead of that cold front all until tomorrow. So tomorrow's the day where you need to have a way to receive those weather alerts. But now we're talking, Kate, tomorrow morning. We've got the moisture there. We've got the warm sector there. We're in that region where strong to severe storms are likely. So this is the day to focus on in terms of the entire week, and it's just been one system after another. And that's what it's going to be across the Deep South this time of year. March, April, that's always what it's going to be. Now, as we head through tomorrow night, we see the line continuing to move off to the east. So flash flooding is actually possible depending on how fast we can get this squall line to move off to the east. I would expect some areas to see significant, much needed rain. Some isolated areas could see flooding, especially in those low-lying areas. However, what also comes with that, unfortunately, of course we could use the rain, is that strong to severe threat. Severe weather outlook for tomorrow has all of our viewing area, including portions in southern Georgia, including portions of southern Alabama, in that orange pocket. So that is that enhanced risk. That hasn't changed since yesterday. This could change. We could see that moderate risk, but this is what it is as of now, and this has held steady now for a few days. So that is that 30% shot, 30% chance of seeing severe weather tomorrow within any given area within 25 miles. So that's what we're looking at. And what does that exactly mean? All cards at play for tomorrow. When you have a system like this coming through, we're in the warm sector, ingredients are readily available. That means all the same impacts you will see with any severe thunderstorm. So the potential for heavy rain is going to be there. All that lightning we saw Sunday night into Monday, we could see frequent lightning. We could see quarter size hail or greater. So if you see small hail, that would not necessarily be a severe warned storm. But if you start to see quarter size hail or greater, that's when that is classified as severe. You could also see the potential for isolated tornadoes. And we say could because the ingredients are available throughout the Deep South, especially in this pocket tomorrow. Now, will you 100% see that? No. But we're always going to inform you if there's an environment that is favorable for severe weather, and that's what that is tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening. So we're going to walk you through the timing. I want you to take it with a grain of salt because this could potentially change as the system continues to organize and that squall line forms. Obviously, if it organizes a little quicker, and this is why it's really something to not focus on particularly hour by hour at this point because we still are a little ways out, but just rather focus on the general time frame, which will be tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening. But if this moves through quicker, we could be talking about not as heavy rainfall amounts. We could be talking about severe threat time frame a little bit different. So I'm going to show you the timing, but just keep that in mind. Okay, for today, for Earth Day, one of, in my opinion, the best days of the year. Love Earth Day. We have beautiful weather for today, so that's great news. Now, as we head into tomorrow morning, especially if you watch the morning show, if you're a morning show viewer, we're not going to be dealing with active weather tomorrow during the morning show, nor during Good Morning America. We could potentially see a few isolated cells out ahead of this line creep into our area, but I would say it's increasingly likely that we're not talking about widespread activity until really the afternoon. So if you wake up tomorrow morning and conditions are calm, conditions are deteriorating later on into the day tomorrow. So this is what we're talking about, that squall line. Squall line really just means a collective group of thunderstorms that kind of bind together in that linear fashion. And as they track west to east, typically you'll see damaging winds, and they can produce anything with a severe thunderstorm. You can see embedded severe thunderstorms along that line. Sometimes the entire line will be severe warned because it can produce pretty damaging winds as it's all grouped together like that. And then another thing we watch for is what are called inflow notches. So little kinks along this line. And if you have enough backing of the winds that are feeding in from the southeast, say, and you have that line coming through west to east, we don't want to see that. That's when you would start to see rotation form. So you can also see isolated tornadoes embedded throughout that line. So timing for this, if you are on the west end of the panhandle, as of right now, you could potentially be talking about later afternoon, the early evening hours. As we head through the evening, you could be talking about that threat passed on east. Now, this timing has changed a little bit, even from early this morning during the morning show. So the time is finicky, and those models are continuing to have a hard time grasping when that squall line will actually form. So until that happens, again, we're just asking that you kind of start to pay attention to what's going on weather-wise later into the morning Thursday. But again, you're not really going to see that around sunrise. You're certainly not going to see that get going, at least in a collective, more widespread realm like this, until later into the afternoon and evening. Now, according to the model consensus right now, you could very well be talking about our easternmost counties like Gulf, Franklin, Liberty counties, not even seeing any rain until very late into the evening. So we're continuing to update you, of course, and we'll continue to do more updates, obviously on air, on social, and into tomorrow morning when we'll have a much better, even by tonight, we'll have a much better idea of this line as it continues to form off to the west. And in Texas today, Oklahoma, we can see a better time frame for you. However, just pay attention to what's going on starting tomorrow morning. And then this could potentially stall. So this actually happened with one of our severe threats recently. Line came through and then it stalled for a little bit. So you were still seeing rounds of rain in Franklin County, and those guys got slammed with heavy rainfall amounts. And that's what we're talking about, where if this stalls, the severe threat might be over, but you could potentially be talking about localized flooding, which is going to pose other issues. So, but by early Friday morning, we are expecting this to be out of our viewing area, and we should be actually heading into really another nice afternoon on Friday afternoon. So Thursday is the day to pay attention to. We have another weather disturbance coming our way for Saturday. That's not going to be as an intense of a threat as this will be tomorrow. So Saturday looking like isolated showers, potentially still some strong storms, but maybe not severe warned. And then Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, we're talking about really favorable weather, really nice weather. So Thursday's kind of the day that all eyes are on. I'm going to look at questions. All right. This is a good question. Someone asked, Tyler asked, when will it start to get breezy? Yeah, so of course with any severe thunderstorm, right, your winds can get up to 60 miles per hour or greater. We saw Monday morning 80 mile per hour straight line winds. So there was an EF0 that the National Weather Service confirmed touched down in Seminole County, north of Orlando, later on Monday. So from that same system, if you can fathom this, we saw 80 mile per hour straight line winds in areas like Jackson County, and then that same line came out east, produced an EF0 tornado. Those tornadoes produce winds typically 65 to 85 miles per hour, and that was in the Orlando area. So when we say straight line wind damage can be just as impactful as, say, a weak tornado, that's why even winds can be quite damaging. So it's a great question. Obviously, it's hard to say when things will actually start to pick up. I would say by tomorrow morning, you're still fairly calm, getting breezier into the afternoon, but when will conditions start to really deteriorate depends on when that line will actually form. And obviously those winds are going to be really ramped up and really kicked up when that line is actually passing through. So that's going to be a question we can better answer probably tonight or tomorrow as the models continue to come to a better consensus. Just double checking to see if there are any more questions. And I'll go ahead and clip this and post this for later as well. Okay, I'm not seeing any more questions for right now. I will go back later and see if there's any other questions. And we'll be sure to give you more updates on social, on air, as always, tonight into tomorrow. And then obviously, if this does get pretty nasty, obviously, tomorrow we'll be right there with you, keeping you informed as well. All right. Hope you enjoy the weather today. I hope you have a wonderful Earth Day, and you can always watch Midday. That's at 11 a.m. Central Time. I'll be talking about it again on midday. All right, everyone. Have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday.